View of the market real quick. This will be short and sweet because I want to save my voice, but a few things I want to highlight before the day starts. We are seeing the S&P 500 and other index funds tick up higher, which is great. I want to start there, just overall like view of the marketplace, what to expect, and let me just adjust my mic real quick because my voice is lower. There we go. So yeah, we're seeing the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, everything's shooting higher, which is great. We're showing lots of strength. And the market is looking like it's bounced back from what happened last week with a huge sell-off, of course, across different assets and industries. Bitcoin is, I would say, flashing warning signs. And what I mean by that is the past week it dropped as low as like $60,000, surged back up here over the next day or two, and it's been range bound between 70,000 and 60, like seven really. So it's chopping in there. That's not good in my opinion. I see it as structurally weak, and my gut tells me it's going to drop down again soon. There's going to be something that spooks Bitcoin or causes a further drop to the downside. When I look back in the 10-year chart, and when you look back on more analysis, I think this $59,000 will be support and it will break, and then we'll find Bitcoin flush down to like this lower range of the 50s. 45 perhaps could be the floor. So yeah, be aware of that. Nasdaq is at $25,000, and if you're paying attention, you had Trump recently say, "Strap in, guys, we're going to the moon," and the Nasdaq will be at what do you call it? I think he said 100,000 or something like that. Trump on the Nasdaq. Let's find that real quick. Trump on the Nasdaq. He basically said we're going to have the biggest year ever, and my gosh, where is it? If it help, I could spell the word Trump correctly, right? Mm-hmm. There we go, 50,000 milestone. It wasn't 100,000. I knew I was wrong, but so you have the president calling for a double of the stock market the next few years, and you've his new Fed pick, Kevin Warsh, coming in, who is not going to be a hawk, and he's not going to cause the economy to tank. He is going to do what Trump wants, and he's going to lower interest rates, and he will slowly start printing money the right way. So the economy will have a huge surge and a huge Trump boom, but there may be a few, crashes or dips before then. Gold is at $5,000, and it's nice to see gold taking a break and not being so chaotic. I'm not buying here because I don't trust it. It's still way too high the past 5 years all time. Even the past 1 year, it's still ridiculously high. So gold could come down too. VGT was an incredible buy this past month, and I hope people got it and pay attention to it. I was watching it here, then I got sick, so I missed it, which sucks. But I almost bought here at this point, and sadly my kids got me sick again. Newsflash: if you got small kids, take your vitamins because you will get sick. But some indexes showed incredible strength. The SVGT up again, the VU's back up to not all, near all-time highs, right? Let's go to the 1-year chart, 5 years. Actually, it is all-time highs. Yeah, we are basically touching the all-time high zone. So this is where you can see the market have a few strong days, things push on, get higher, but you may want to move to cash. Not financial advice, of course, but cash is never a bad idea when you see the market get to all-time highs. Make sure you're in strong companies that are doing well. I think the stock market, the fire will test all companies with earnings reports and usability, and you'll expect to see a lot of stuff get crushed this next few years, next few months. Momentum stocks are doing really well, ETFs. So this is a good one, the USA Momentum Factor ETF. It's an incredible company or incredible stock that has about 100 or 200 stocks in it, and they track the hottest, the best stocks in the market over a 6-month period of time. And that goal is to give you broad exposure to the best companies that are performing the best over the 6 and 12-month period. So it's a really good way to kind of beat the market and not buy single stocks, but you're getting exposed like to more of an aggressive, portfolio. But yeah, this is where our TLT bonds are. I mean, bonds are terrible, right? 5 years of dead money, negative money. I don't like bonds. I don't see how they're going to do well. And then copper's up too. So yeah, that's where we are, guys. Keep an eye on that. The 10-year is not showing any signs of dropping. It's going higher, which sucks for all of us looking to refinance or buy a home. Trump wants to get this fixed. He needs to solve this problem, get this down for buyers. The Mag 7 is looking pretty good this morning. We have Nvidia at 190, pushing that. It's going to be pushing that $200 range. That's what it wants to do, of course. Pre-market, it's at 191. Microsoft at 415, which is great. I did buy a few shares of Microsoft. Tesla 418, but it could drop to the 300s, could push higher. It does Tesla things. Meta 678 is giving up all of its earnings, which is sad to see. So maybe a buy there. Google, McDougal, I don't know. It's like expensive. I'm not sure if I'd be a buyer here. If you were going to buy Google, you should have bought it last year at this range. It's more or less over doubled since then. Amazon may be the better buy because it hasn't had a big breakout the past year, 5 years, 25%, and it's just a beast. So I think I'd rather buy Amazon and hold it for a few years. Apple had a huge increase flight to safety. Capital went here, but I would expect capital to begin to leave Apple to move back into high risk stuff because that's the way people work. Some of our favorite stocks, let's look at a few of the favorite tickers, then we'll keep this short and sweet, guys. Cypher, 16, $17 pre-market, yep, up about not even 1%. App Lovin has recovered nicely this past month too. Well, kinda, it's on the way, which is great. And then you have your IRENs, all of your data centers, your energy plays, your compute. Um, Down a bit in the pre-market, but it'll probably bounce pretty hard today. I do like Iron quite a bit. Applied Digital, I bought that under $10, sold it, didn't understand it, and it's had a fantastic year, so kind of annoyed about that. Um, I'm not sure how much higher it can go really. It's possible it goes higher, but it's on my list to keep an eye on because I don't want to miss out on a $100 stock that I've already researched before. Nebius Cloud or Nebius Group, as they're called. Fantastic recovery. I think that actually a great earnings report. Is that right? Yeah, November 11th, February 12th. Probably going to be a fantastic earnings report. So I may want to potentially grab more exposure to Nebius. Again, the time to buy was last week though at these prices. So that's when you should have been buying. Look at the 1 month chart here, $70. That was a great buy right there. And then you have your Palantir, got tested after one of the best quarterly reports ever in history. It was just breathtaking what they released, and they got sold off, which is weird. About 142, they're turning around quite a bit. All-time highs are, a long way away, $207, so that's a bit of a huge upside. If we pull up our chart real quick, let's just look at that real fast. What is that going to take Palantir to do to get back to that all-time high range? That's probably right there, 198. Nope, there's it right there. Cheeky little Saudi, you're hiding right there the whole time. That's gonna go boom to like, where are we, 145 in the pre-market. So you need a 30% increase there to get back over all-time highs, which is possible because it's Palantir and Palantir does not obey the laws of physics or finances. Um, Maybe a good buy potentially if you want long-term exposure to Palantir. Sad we all should have bought it heavier a year ago. Rocket Labs sold off down $76. So everything's kind of like, ticking back up. It's finding strength. Money is creeping back in slowly. But I think overall, the market is very, very nervous, very cautious about, well, is this going to be sustained or is this a dead cat bounce? Are we going to go up and then drop? So just be aware of that and don't be overly exposed to leverage. Avoid that crap. Avoid that 3 to 10x leverage. SoFi is going to be the best year ever, I think. Noto is on a warpath to fight for his stock. So I'd expect SoFi to get back up to $25 or higher. On the 1 year chart, on the daily, let's see what we got. It needs to get back up here and reclaim that $23 200 move a day moving average. That needs to happen ASAP, and I think it'll not take too long. And then it's going to push back up to this range. SoFi does not deserve to be at this point, just does not with the incredible numbers are putting up. It's not justified. It's just insane to see that. On the weekly, it is testing that 50-day moving average. So it's kind of bouncing, finding resistance, which is great. And I hope it kind of pushes back up higher. It deserves that. And then a few other ones. Zeta has been extremely popular online. It's all over Twitter. It just blew up. Lots of reports came out, lots of insights, lots of people talking about it. Caused a bit of a bump there, and then it crashed because of the SaaS industry, the SaaS trade, right? That was all because of SaaS. That's not the right one. Give me this guy. Um, everyone, I bought into Zeta. Other folks did buy Zeta, but then you had this SaaS narrative pull it right down again. So I think in time Zeta will recover. It's inevitable that it will go back up to like this range, but I'd expect a bit of a chop to happen. Like maybe you'd see this perhaps. That's what I'd love to see, a bit of a return to its highs there. Then PGY is another very popular stock that's appeared on Twitter quite a bit all over the place. It's a huge god buy order right there. My gosh, is that real? Yeah, it's a beast of a candle. Huh, interesting. So PGY is a really good company, posting great quarters, showing strength, and I would definitely be a buyer to hold this one long term. And then we'll finish on energy. TE, I think this is a great company, a very popular one too. I might have to buy, but my buy target was here, under $7. So if it drops further, I would love to buy it. But it's a crazy box of consolidation here, and it hasn't had that wick down that I'm waiting for. I don't want to buy here. I want to buy here. I want to have that little bit of a margin of safety right there. So keeping a close eye on T for energy play. FLNC had a bad quarter, if I remember correctly, before I got sick, and it sold off pretty heavily. But you might see Fluence Energy rebound too, because we need more energy. Energy is so important. It's just crucial for America's success. Bloom Energy is one of been the bigger success stories for energy, and I regret not buying this when I was watching it in this price range. But I was expecting a pullback, but we never got it. So just be aware of that. Sometimes you're expecting a pullback, you're waiting for a retest, but from July of last year, it just went on an absolute tear till September, and we never got that huge pullback. It happened here at all-time highs, but at this point, I think a lot of us were expecting it to go lower to test that 200, but it didn't test the 200, and eventually all things do test the 200. It tested it here, right, which is great to see, but it did not test it again. So I want it to test that again. I think if we're lucky, we might get a test somewhere over here, the $90 range, possibly. Who knows? Like, so be aware of that. And then finally, we'll finish on MSTR. It was a good buy right here for anyone willing to risk it, up $30 from that low. I'm worried we're going to see a dead cat bounce in Bitcoin though, so I'm not buying here, but I'm watching quite closely. So hope that helps, guys. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the market. Fear and greed index is 44.49, so we're neutral. Doesn't feel right. It feels like it's more on the greed than neutral to me. So that's not, I would say it's not correct right there. And then economic calendar today on a Tuesday. What do we have? We have ADP employment change. That'll be interesting to see right there. What's happening there? Export prices. Yep, want to look at that one year over year, of course. The red book's always interesting to see. And a Fed hammer. Maybe get some like data from these guys. So not a huge day, but definitely keep an eye on it, guys. So appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you on the at the bell. Bye.